Well, hello and a warm welcome to Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. It is the start of season 4. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the podcast. We have had a bit of a break, a bit of an off season for both myself and Mark Gallard, who's currently in Delray Beach preparing for the new season with his star player, Magda Linette. And boy, have we got an opening start for us here at the start of the 2026 season. It's Freddie Fontang, the coach of Felix Auger-Aliassime, live from Paris. Fred, a warm welcome to the podcast and thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Candy. Always a pleasure to discuss with you about tennis. So
We've
I'm
become,
ready.
you very nicely, we've sort of become old friends, haven't we? Because we spoke about 3 years ago, I think it was, at the Australian Open. I was always very interested in your career, and we spoke about you starting with Jeremy Chardy and going through the ranks, and now, of course, has had so much success with Felix Auger-Aliassime. Do you sometimes sort of look back at what you've done and be quite pleased with yourself?
I mean, yeah, I'm starting to get old, 55. I have a few years as a coach now, but yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying my journey because I love tennis, but I will say more the transmission part, as a coach than I was a player. I think it's matching more with my personality. So yeah, it's I've been a very interesting journey.
You were a good player. Talk a little bit about your career starting. You played multiple French Opens, your home major. You were a very fine junior, were you? What made you get into tennis initially?
My father was playing tennis, so I start with him, and then after, because I was in the best of my region, then the best of of France. So I went to the all the so we have national center. So I was in Poitiers, and then after INSEP, the national center in Paris, from 11 years old to 16 years old. So I was like did all my journey with the French Federation. So that was a good experience, and I start soon my career as a player.
And did you know you were going to be a good player?
Yeah, because I won the Petits also
I
when I
saw
was
that.
14. So that means, I was on the track to at least to dream to be one day a good tennis player. And I continue, and I went back to because I live in the southwest of France, near Biarritz in Pau. And I went back and I did my team, and yeah, I went through this transition from the junior to the pro in 91, a long time ago. And the best ranking in singles was 59, with one title in Palermo on clay court. No,
Very good.
it was good.
It's so tough, isn't it, to be a top tennis player? The more I'm in professional tennis players, and I would call myself a failed tennis player, had a world ranking, but not really got any further than that. And I just think it's so extraordinarily hard. Do you think it's tougher now than it's ever been, or do you think things are pretty much the same? It's always been difficult.
I mean, I think it's difficult to compare because before, for example, less money on the tour, less academy, private academy, not just in France at least, the option was just to go to the federation. We didn't have option to go, like now we have several options to develop a young player in the private academy.
Yeah.
Information is everywhere now also, on the web, discussing to have access to some conference to educate the parents, the coach. So it's positive and negative. It's I will say for sure that the competition, the level is higher now. We can see now in the top 100 the difference between the players is very thin. And before, you can be top 100 with having some lack of technique or lack of fitness level.
Those days have long gone, haven't they? I was just looking at and reading something from Wayne Rooney, the English footballer who played for Manchester United, and he was talking
Yeah.
about getting drunk before a match and then turning up, scoring a couple of goals, and going home. And it's just inconceivable that a tennis player could even possibly think about doing that.
Yeah, now everybody is super professional, like 99.9% of the player, and that's true that in the 90s or 80s, we have memories of like some player were able to party, you know, to enjoy life in tournaments also. Now it's so competitive. The rhythm of the tournament, you know, the level of the players, the involvement of the teams. And after you can see the result on the court, you know, the performance of the player, the show. I think it's very, very good for the fans.
Oh, well, it's just an incredible level. And the more I'm around tournaments and you get to see this all the time, it astonishes me how hard these guys and women are working in that they get into the court several hours before they're due to play. They're on court, they're in the gym, they're working on their fitness. And then not only before the match are they working extremely hard, but then they have to do all the post-match stuff, don't they? The massage, the warming down, everything that goes into it. How many hours would you say a day you are at the tennis courts when Felix is playing a match?
Yeah, in general, we arrive 1 hour and a half before the tennis practice, and even earlier when there is a match, because if you need to have like some food before, but it's 1 hour and a half with the physio, mobility, and then of course the muscular warm-up, you know, specific warm-up. And of course, in the 90s when I was playing, yeah, we were just like doing like a couple of drills, you know, running drills, 15 minutes. Now it's the big difference in the 19 from now is like, yeah, the fitness part and the physio part is really like taking a lot of space, and it's good because now we have less players. They have less injury in the hips, you know, because in the early 2000, a lot of players are had like some surgery, you know, Curtin, Norman, you know, with the hips, and now, of course, there's some injuries, but less in that side.
And that's a perfect talking point because Felix has had quite a lot of injuries, hasn't he, in his career? But finally, it seemed that 2025, from the beginning to the end, he was pretty healthy. Why do you think that was in particular? Because we know the level of Felix is extraordinarily high, but it just seemed there were a few niggles that he just couldn't get over. And suddenly those have gone. It seems anyway from the outside. You of course know better.
Oh, I mean, when you're inside, I'm not going to give all the secrets, of course, but no, it's that's true that we had some trouble to solve an injury problem in 2023 after a really good season in 2022 for Felix. And yeah, then after you practice a little bit less, but you still play some tournaments, so you are losing the confidence, and then you are losing a little bit the ranking. So you are less seeded in the big tournament, so you play the best one in the third round in the Grand Slam, or even earlier in the Masters. So that it was a kind of a bad timing with that, but at the same time, the team of Felix learned to deal with that, to find some solution in different domains, technical, tactical, physical, so recovery, which we try, of course, every year to do our best, you know, to improve. But I will say, like we find the right tune. Even like we start in 2024, even if the result were not the same as this year, but yeah, it was anyway. We can say that of course it's a cost, but it's good that like sometimes to go into the storm and to survive.
Gosh, isn't that true? Only when you look back, isn't it, that you think, well, that's why we had all those problems. So let's go through a little bit of 2025 because Felix won multiple tournaments, semi-final at the Masters right at the end, a Grand Slam semi-final as well. Let's start with Adelaide because that's where he won the tournament. What do you recall of that one?
No, it was good because I can say we did a really sharp preparation during the off season. We had time to really have some rest, to recover all the batteries, and to really do all the steps on the like technical adjustments. You know, then we went to the tactical drills. We had time to do also like the practice matches, you know, to transfer this communication also with the coach, because now we are allowed to discuss. So we really had the time to do all those steps, and it clicks not right away because we played the United Cup, won a strange match against Courage, but then after Felix beat Fritz, and then after he starts, we went right away with Adelaide, and he was playing better and better, and the level was good.
And you were starting to feel that, because I think as a coach, and I coach largely under 18s, but you can start to feel a mentality shift perhaps from your player when they start to get a little bit confident. Did you see that in Felix?
Yeah, we saw that, step by step through all the matches, but we knew already that at the practice he was playing a good level. He was like ready physically. And, we had like all the green lights. We have our procedure for that, and we were like feeling also in the practice that we were checking a lot of things. So as a coach, because you are coaching in general just one player, so you have your frame, and you can feel in percentage, what's it's going to happen. That's interesting.
We had Xavier Peugeot on the podcast earlier this season. He coaches Alexander Müller of France, and he was saying that Alex trained with Yannick Sinner in the off season last season, and then won his first title at Hong Kong. And he said there was no coincidence because, of course, the practice he received was just phenomenal. So when he went onto the match court, he could see it all shifting, and just the belief in Alex happened. So was there anything, and you talked a little bit about the preseason last year, was there anything that was different that you thought worked well and you might apply to this season as well?
Not completely different that we were like doing. It's just that I will say that we focus a little bit more on the energy management, to really to be a little bit more specific in the following of all the sessions. And I think we did a good job with that. We learned from the past, from Felix, and to recenter with the strength of Felix.
Yes. How do you cope with a player if they're suddenly slightly losing motivation or the love for the game? And I'd imagine that would happen to every player, particularly if you have struggled with injuries, maybe struggling with confidence. As you said, Felix maybe struggled with injuries in 2023 after such a great season. How do you, as the coach, bring that player back to where they need to be?
In the case of Felix, he didn't lose the passion because he enjoying watching tennis. Enjoying watching tennis. The passion was intact, but I will say the conviction, the confidence and the conviction. That's when you start to lose some matches, then it starts, and then we can be active as a team because we are a team behind Felix. It's like we have this philosophy of trying to do our best every day to improve. The coach, the fitness coach, all the team needs to improve, like Felix. And when we don't know something, then we go for an expert. And that's what we did that a lot in different aspects, biomechanic, fitness, also different aspect of the with the highs, etc. And I will say that that helps to have like some external, stimulation for the team, for Felix. And in 2023 and 2024, even if the ranking was not top 10, back to top 10, but he had some good results, final in Madrid, a title in Basel also in 2023. Yeah. So we were like feeling that, okay, the level was still there, but was missing the consistency and the kind of invisible energy, alchemy that came in 2025.
I understand. I think when you pick outside sources, and it's brilliant that you do that, because I think a lot of people, and I see that particularly maybe more on the WTA side, that the coaches want to almost pretend that they know everything. They can solve the problems. They don't need to bring anybody else in. And it's almost like you're my player. I'm keeping hold of you. So you have to be a confident coach, don't you, to be able to say, Felix, I'm not sure of the answer. Let's get someone who might know in. But then the other thing is getting someone that really knows their stuff so that you're not going backwards. Because if you pick the wrong person, that might be really detrimental to everything you're trying to do.
Yeah, that's this balance is very difficult to find. and credit to Felix and his family, because after 2 difficult year in one way, that Felix was not at the ranking that he deserved, because we know the potential of Felix, but the family of Felix and Felix were like always in this philosophy to stay calm, to be patient, and to give the chance to the team and for the coach to improve, to find some solution. And of course, at one point, we are in a business of results, and we are in the competition. You need to have the result at some point. But sometimes you need to hold, you need to hold the process. You need to, that's why we were always like calling us, the coaches and the team, the guardian of the process. And I think Felix also in the other part felt that he can trust on this team to engage 100%, whatever the result was, and also to be able to, if I don't have the resources, we go outside. And that way, and also that, we were working with Tony Nadal, since 2021. We stopped the collaboration in 2024. Around April. And maybe we are going to continue this process, because it's for me as a coach, I need to be, and I try to be, a good generalist. That means like this, I can choose. I have some tools to choose the people around me to coach Felix. So, and this process is a non-stop, like the player, it's a non-stop process, because a coach has to be the example. You have to, it's if you are like telling to your player, you need to be disciplined, to go to the gym, to be mentally 100%. On your side, at your level, you need to be an example. So that's
that's so true. But how hard then is it as a coach? Because like you said, you've been in tennis a lot, both as a player and now as a coach. You coach so many fantastic players. How hard is it for you to have the motivation to keep going? Because for the coaches, especially those coaches who aren't dueling with someone, we're seeing more and more of that, aren't we? Players with two coaches, so they're kind of doing maybe 20 weeks each, but you're doing it all as the head coach. How hard do you find it to have the motivation to leave home, to go on the road, to go back to the grind?
Credit to my wife and my kids, first of all.
Yes, indeed.
So of course, it's a process, it's a family choice, and of course, at one point, my passion was this, and I am a natural competitor. It's because I'm in the tennis since I'm very young, and this adrenaline of the competition, it's something that I enjoy, I enjoy, and I enjoy also this job of coach, that you need to build, like an architect, you need to build with all the pieces, and you cannot rest, because it's always in movement, it's not because, Felix is number 5 in the world now. We don't know next year is going to happen, it's like a blank page, because especially with the ranking of the tennis, you have to come back to zero, so it's good, I am enjoying. So I'm not like I'm not boring about that, because the job is like and of course it's a kind of you have to I organize my life, when I stop my career with my family, to be able to do that. You cannot decide like this, to do it well, because then you are going to be in trouble, because you are, like you said, you're traveling 40 weeks a year. So you have to, you need to be really organized with your family when you have a family, because then it's a danger, you are going to lose your family if the fundamentals are not there.
Yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot in tennis. So well done to you, and well done to Mrs. Fontang, that's for sure. She obviously is a very good woman. Can you give us an insight into why you think Felix is so good? You've talked about his character, his ability. He's now at a career high, number 5 in the world. And tennis is now truly a global sport. In my opinion, it's the hardest sport in the world. I had this conversation with Francis Tiafoe, who agreed. He said it's the hardest. So how do you become number 5 in the world? It's something so incredibly difficult.
Yeah, the challenge is huge because you need to be, it's a technical sport, it's a tactical sport, a duel, it's a physical, you can see, the final of Roland Garros between Sinner and Alcaraz, the fitness level, battling for more than 4 hours, and you have to move, so the speed, agility, coordination, endurance, power, and plus all the adaptation, with the traveling, clay court, grass, different country, jet lag. So to be top 5, to be top 10, of course, you need to have all those qualities. And for Felix, okay, the level of athleticism is very high. So we know that.
Yes.
And after the technical part, you need to work on this part all the time, because you need to clean with the competition. You need to clean the technique to improve. That's why all the player, we try to do few adjustments, not big ones, but few technical adjustments, and tactically also, because everybody is improving. So that's the part that we are doing with Felix. And the same for the physical part, because you can be athletic like Felix, but tennis, you can be injured, you discover the weakness in the body with the time. So you need to find solution, to be in prevention, to work on it. And I will say, like the main natural quality for Felix is like as I said before, it's the passion and the level of education. Credit to Marie and Sam, great parents for Felix, and they gave a level of education with Felix that you can see. He's able to speak about different topics about this tennis. He's very calm. He's able to, not like me in English. He's able to have a great, in the interview, he has his charisma, this elocution, and I think he's bringing that on the court, and the people can feel it, and that's the and of course we try to maintain that, that's why in the tournament, because we are spending a lot of time with Felix, his family, his wife now. We try to continue to educate ourselves like this. It's an holistic approach, and I think it's good for a tennis player, but also like for the after tennis life.
Fabulous. I'm so interested in reading what makes people great as opposed to very good. And I read a lot of books, and there was one called, in fact, Good to Great. And the whole premise of this book is essentially the who. It's about the who rather than the what, the when, the why first. So you've got to find the right people. And he's obviously found you. You started working in 2017. Do you remember that moment when either he asked you or an agent got together, or how did it all come together?
No, it was, I will say, a natural process, because he was practicing in the National Center in Tennis Canada with Guillaume Marx and Nicolas Perrotte on the fitness side. And me, I was with Vacek Pospisil, at this time. And then after, we decided to do this transition, because they were looking for a coach who had the experience of the high level to be on the tour. So it was natural that on that path. That was the connection.
And then you've mentioned Sam Aliassim, Felix's dad, who's a former tennis coach, and he actually worked with Gabriel Diallo. I had a conversation with Gabriel in Tokyo about that. So he obviously has great tennis knowledge. Did you, in the early days, talk about Felix's game and perhaps the way he should play with Sam, or is it strictly just about you?
Yeah, when we stopped with Tony Nadal, we decided to recenter, and Sam went with me, more in the tournaments, and was really, I will say, was a important piece of the holistic, approach of the game, because I like to. Sam he knows tennis because he was coaching Felix until 14 years old. So he knows tennis. So he was like not interact in the bad way with me. That's super important. And also he helped me to impact with Felix in some domains that a coach, if you impact on everything, then it's too much,
Yeah.
So that was this we find this right alchemy to go to with the source of the project, to me understanding more the history of their collaboration, their project, because at the beginning it's a parent and player project. And this is super interesting. And Sam is a wonderful person, because on the side also he's doing a lot for Africa with Felix. And honestly, we have we have a great alchemy, and we are really enjoying.
That's so good. And I remember for a while, Felix's mum Marie traveled with you, and also his sister, who I believe when I first met you was being almost the restaurant picker. She was responsible for the food.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also the other part, that Marie is with us, for sometimes for the food, but also like to be at the table, to have different discussion. Malika also is a wonderful person. So Felix was always like a family. It's good because the team and me as well, and now also because his wife Nina, she's on the road with her, and she's bringing a lot of positive energy, and like this we can also like refresh. Felix can go dinner with his wife or his family, and we can go also with the team, not always together. That's this gymnastic is very important. You have to travel with the family,
Yeah.
and if you are doing well, without like a negative interaction, because our desk is open, we are practicing, people are watching, then it's the desk of the professional job is open. So sometimes it's not easy, but I will say that I'm lucky to work in this environment.
You've got an open door policy, haven't you, at
Yeah.
Team Felix, that's for sure. And of course, as you've mentioned, Felix married to Nina September this year. I presume you're going to tell me that a happy player off court makes a better player on court.
That's like you said, before, like as you have to work from the inside to be able to be challenged from the outside. So
Yeah.
if you are not strong, happy, and you can see that the positivity that Nina, his wife, this new situation waiting, we saw like Felix, the joy on his face was also we saw it more on the court this year.
Yeah, you certainly did. And he just seems like such a nice guy. Whenever I've spoken with Felix, he's, as you said, very polite, very well-mannered, very good-natured, very interesting. And I think that's so important. And you see at the top of the men's game, it almost seems like they're all like that. I can tell you the same anyway, from my point of view, about Sinner and Alcaraz, how friendly and nice they are. But they've obviously got this on-court spirit where they're going to rip you to shreds if they can, but do it in a very gentlemanly way.
No, that's true. That's true. It's like really like the challenge, because I did the process with Jeremy Chardy from 12 years old, top 30. With Vacek was different, because we started, he was 20 years old, and from 150 to top 25. And with Felix, he was like at the end of the junior, we start, and then through the top 5. So it's the challenge as a coach and as a team with the player is like to go with this, because at the beginning, when the player is young, he's like independent, he's listening, you are driving. And then after, you need to go more like in the interdependence, that the boss of the team, of the project, has to be the player. And then he has to choose his team. Everybody has his right place. And then all this puzzle has to work in interdependence. And that's, I think, Felix now is really like, he improved a lot with that.
It's not an easy balance, is it, to have that many people involved and keep everybody happy? So again, well done to you and your physio. You have Andy Vial on board as well, who's a great guy, and you two seem to get on brilliantly.
Yeah, I work with Andres from Chile, from Santiago, since 10 years. I start with Vacek, Pospisil. So we have a great alchemy together. He's a very good professional. So that's very important, because the team need to understand the vision of the coach. Like this,
Yes.
they can adjust. We are working also with Hugo Graville, who is bringing like his joy. We saw that in the master, with his little dance after some few matches. and great experience because he was working for the ATP Physio for 10 years, and then after with Zverev for 8 years. So like this, they are sharing the weeks, and we are working also with Nicolas Perrotte and Jean-Michel Lévesque with the fitness part. So they are more like in the when we are like in Monaco to develop the fitness, less in tournaments, of course, and few other people around that they are not on the scene, but they are like with us in the boat.
It takes a village, doesn't it? Let's go back to Felix's year. Were there any matches in particular that you remember very fondly as ones that you just thought he played an outstanding match?
You mean the best the best match that I have in memory?
Yeah, maybe the best match, the best memory.
The best match, the best memory this year.
Just going to jog you. So obviously you got to the semi-finals of this year's US Open, beat
Yeah,
Sabulin, Zverev, Rublev, de Minaur,
I'm
lost in
trying
four
to see what was a click like click like more like a click because he played like several like good matches. He was really consistent from Cincinnati.
Yes,
He really start to
got a
build
quarters of Cincinnati.
Yeah, he started in Cincinnati, but we were like talking together. I was
That's
scouting
right.
the match before.
That was such a good chat. I really enjoyed that, Freddie.
Yeah.
Actually sitting with you, watching a match that Felix obviously wasn't playing, but we were watching his potential opponent.
Next,
And just
exactly.
to read your mind and see what you're looking at was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, so that was I will say it was more like the match of Toronto was really like not good.
Okay.
I have more this in memory because after he was like Felix was like really consistent in his level, finding the solution. Of course, he had like some matches in the US Open, especially against Zverev. Like
Yes.
That was a positive performance, like a peak performance for 1 or 2 sets that he was like starting to really like playing like free. I will say like mixing, going forward, putting the pressure, being solid at the right moment. So come back to your question, was more like Zverev in the US Open, but I will
Yes.
say that the PAM like touching a little bit the back of the pool, when you touch the ground, then you go.
That's
It
the
was more
end.
like in
Yep.
Toronto when he lost
He
his
lost to
match, but
Marozsan.
to Marozsan, yeah, was
Yeah.
of course the condition were not easy and a good player for Marozsan, but a lot of wind, but like a poor adjustment in this match, and then after, bam, some good discussions, and then in Cincinnati, starting to playing really better.
The end of the season after he lost in his essential opening match in Toronto, it was a second round match to Marozsan, went on a run, quarterfinals of Cincinnati, lost to Sinner, semi-finals of US Open, lost to Sinner, got to the quarters of Shanghai, won Brussels, quarterfinals of Basel, got to the final of Paris, and then the semi-finals of the Masters Cup. That is a seriously good ending. Was he healthy throughout? Was he enjoying it? Were you enjoying it?
Yeah, we were like we enjoy more than in 2022, which was like a similar, of course, it's matching with his quality. It's indoor hard, and before was like hard court also. So we know that his game is matching well with the hard court and the indoor. But we were like enjoying because, after those like more too difficult years, it's like we were like, it was good. Yeah.
You get your big reward for a lot of work and just sticking together, which is ultimately the goal,
Yep.
isn't it? Is trying to get that marathon rather than a sprint mentality. It's about the long term.
Yeah, I think in general it's good for the tennis, and in general for I will say for this generation, and that we are living, like everybody wants the result fast. We are like we have less patience because we are always stimulated by the phones, the social media. So I will say that it's good. It's a good example. It's a good lesson to be able to to hold and not to throw the things, and to hold and to have some results. And because we are always like saying, okay, we have to the hard work is going to pay off, but at one point has to you have to prove it,
Yeah.
And I think it's good. Yeah, it's good in general for the tennis, for the coaches, for the players also, that okay, they can say, okay, yeah, we had a good. You can have a difficult period, but you can also like be patient, work hard, and then to be rewarded.
And he's only 25 years old, which is crazy because it feels like Felix has been around forever. And we've got these two guys at the top of the rankings right now who just seem to be unbeatable. How do you go about that in 2026? We saw Carlos Alcaraz come up with a game plan specifically to play Yannick Sinner. At least that's what he said. He said he went through the tournament and he just played what he needed to do to beat Sinner. So I guess, do you go into 26 going, what do we need to do to beat Alcaraz and Sinner? I don't know.
I mean, of course, it's a it's a part of our reflection, with the vision of the tactical vision of Felix. But I will say, yeah, first of all, like Sinner and Alcaraz, they are like above all the others. That's the reality, and credit to them, to their team. And I think they are improving a lot because they are playing each other in the finals. They are doing and at this level, it's a part of the progress that it's there. It's not. The big part is there. You have to play matches against the top player to improve. Of course, the preparation is important, but this part. So that's for Felix. We need to play those players, Sinner and Alcaraz, more to improve, and at the same times we need to bring technical, tactical, physical tools, mental tools, to be able to consolidate what Felix did in 2025, and of course with like some pieces.
Hopefully well, I'm not going to say no injuries, but you just want almost their level to come down just a little bit to give everybody else a chance. If you had to say one thing about Sinner's game and one thing about Alcaraz's game that they do better than everyone else, what do you think that would be?
Yeah, that's good, because they are like, for me, it's two different type of game.
Yes.
Sinner is like a Djokovic plus, the consistency, the consistency in the shots, not too much variety.
Yes.
Forehand, backhand, serve also. The movement is not using energy. Is the coordination. It's good, but he is staying with his game is sticking to what he knows. Like those pillars. Consistency from the baseline, moving with the high speed. Not losing energy, with a great quality of serve and return. And then Alcaraz, so it's a kind of Borg, Djokovic, Sinner is in this following, the big stability, emotional stability.
Yes.
And then we have Alcaraz, more like a Federer, I will say, or McEnroe, like going to, like a drop shot, going to the net, acceleration, slice, it's and also like a more extraverted personality. So that's good. It's like ice and fire. That yeah, it's for me. It's from the outside. It's like that different type of body. Explosiveness for Alcaraz, speed, explosiveness, power. And for Sinner, it's more like this coordination. Long arms. Taller, very thin. So that's good.
That's a really good way of putting it. They are just extraordinary, and they have separated themselves. But Felix at 25, semi-final now at a major. He's reached the fourth round in at least, well, all of them. A couple of quarterfinals in there as well. He's won the Davis Cup, as you said, career high number 5. So things are looking really good. What would be the goal, I suppose, for you and him in 2026? What would you really like him to achieve, if there's maybe just one or two things?
Yeah, I mean, we have to consolidate the few things that we found out in 2025. We have to consolidate this ID game.
Mm.
For me, that's the first pillar. So we are going to consolidate that. To, of course, it's the part of to be healthy, to stay healthy is super important. And then after, because Felix can play also, he had in the past some good results on clay, final in Madrid, fourth one in Roland Garros several times, a great match again, when the conditions are a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So then it's like to be able to stay calm even if the results are not there. That's also like a important aspect of the puzzle of Felix. And no, that's it. It's not like some crazy things. And of course, we are always like, of course, we have a fundamentals, we have like the vision, tactical vision, the technical work, but there's like the part of the adaptation. It's very important in tennis. And this part is very important, but how you are able to adapt and to improve in this adaptation. For me, the pillars are like you said, you have to feel free, to feel free to express his tennis, like this interdependence with his team, to enjoy his life, a part of tennis. So this is this alchemy that you cannot capture, It's something that you have to live it day by day and to be okay with that. Because sometimes, players or things, you want to capture the things and to keep the things like they are, but you can forget that the life of the tennis is like the life, it's you don't know. And you have
You've
to
got to
be
keep
okay with
growing.
that. You have to be okay with that, to accept that it's going to be a challenge, and you just have to find a way of the victory with what you have day by day. And I
That's
will
so
say
true.
that's it's the second pillar that we need to.
And we know that tennis players, I think, are traditionally quite stubborn in that once they have a game plan or a way of playing, they like to keep it. Do you personally look at using other people, like we've spoken about a little bit, but a biomechanist, or do you look at more data or using different ideas? And how difficult is that to come to terms with? Because sometimes we've done, I mean, you could say we've had a fantastic year, let's just continue it. Or you could say, we've had a fantastic year, let's go for more, with the risk that you could also make the wrong moves.
Yeah, it's a balance of that, because of course we are working with Fabrice Barrault since 7 years. So we have like the really positive things about the stats is like you have this longitudinal, datas. That's really important. You have the GPS track of the game of Felix, the other players. That's as a coach is super interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
I like. Of course, you need to know what you are going to look for, because it's you can have all the data nowadays. You can have everything. So then you have to be organized, and but it's super interesting, because it's also important, because you can come to your player with like some concrete argument. Because sometimes after the match, sometimes you say, hey, but you did that, but yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, the facts are there, So that's really good. And plus we can communicate on the court. I'm not a crazy fan of the communication of the court with my character, Felix as well. So we communicate, but we try to stay sharp with that. Like this, we believe that the player is playing the game, is feeling the game, and the coach from the outside, we just see, we don't feel, the fatigue, the sensation. So we have to be careful with that, and it's really important that the players staying the boss on the court, open to external coaching, and then he decide, So that's a great, I think it's really interesting period, very positive for the coaching. And after, of course, I have several persons that I trust in terms of biomechanics, that, okay, I can use their point of view, now with the video, you can, and of course, like you said, it's a balance with like knowing yourself, your strength, your weakness. So working on that, but for me, I'm more like going with the strength, optimize the strength, and then to improve slowly the weakness, because if you go too much, you spend too much on the weakness, it's not too good for the confidence, and because we are playing like 25 tournaments in the year, you don't have too much time to develop.
That's so true. I remember Arsene Wenger, the former Arsenal football manager, talking about working on his players' strengths as opposed to working too heavily on the weaknesses. Like, what are
Yeah.
you good at? Are you good at heading?
Yeah.
Let's keep working on that to make it even better. And of course, we're going to develop the stuff that maybe you're not so good at, but you don't want to lose sight, do you, of the real strengths
Totally.
of
Yeah,
your
me,
player?
I'm totally like since I start to coach because it's what I learned. It's a part that I learned from my career. I did mistake with that, and right away as a coach, I was like working 80%, I will say, of the time on the strength.
Yes. Yeah, very,
Yeah.
very important.
Mm.
So can you give us just an idea as we start to roll this podcast up about what you're going to do now? When does the preseason start? And what's the first tournament?
So after 2 weeks of rest for Felix, he's going to
Well
come back.
needed.
Yeah, well needed in 2 days with just fitness, doing some tests and to start to reshape the body. And we start after around the 10th, the tennis, hopefully, if everything is okay. And then we start the competition in Australia, the United Cup. And it's
Yes.
going to be interesting because he's going to play this event with Mboko, the rising
That's going to be
star
great.
of Canada. So it's going to be interesting, and it's good because this format competition you are going. It's you can play 2 matches, whatever, So that's good to enter on the next season.
I know there was a big fight a nice fight, but on the US men's side, because Taylor Fritz really wanted to play the United Cup and he was
Yeah.
just behind Ben Shelton because there's points obviously in the United Cup and it's a lovely way to get going without playing a proper tournament first. You mentioned that Felix has had 2 weeks off. Do tennis players completely have it off? Is he doing nothing, just having fun?
No, his fitness, Jean-Michel was like
Okay.
sending.
So they maintain a level because otherwise, if you
Yeah.
take 2 weeks off, then
Yeah.
actually the steep back is much higher.
Yeah, for the wrist, for the joints, it's important to have a kind of small maintenance.
Okay, so just very slight for 2 weeks,
But light.
complete break from
Yeah.
actually playing tennis, but just
Yeah.
maintaining fitness, and
Yeah,
then it all
light. Yeah.
begins. And imagine it's a gradual back into tennis, not too crazy at the beginning.
Exactly. We go progressively, the fitness, the
Yes.
tennis, really progressively because
Okay. And
yeah.
are you staying? Do you go to Monaco? Are you playing indoors to get used to?
No, in
Australia, which
Monaco, we are lucky because the weather is I hope it will be the same this year, but we can play outside. Yeah.
yeah, that's lovely, and you can stay nearer to home. And then the United Cup is your first. Do you get to spend Christmas with your family?
We are going to fly on the 25th, so we are going
The
to
life
be
of a tennis
in the
player,
plane.
Freddie. The life of a tennis
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but you absolutely love it, don't you?
Yeah. It's really like it's not an effort because I really like and with the time, because my children are like 23 and 20, so when they have to come to see me, they can come to see me on the tournament sometimes with my wife also. And with the edge, you normally as a coach you're getting better and better because you don't need to be physical so then the experience is growing, so it's really interesting. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, you are a wonderful person. I really enjoyed chatting with you. You're obviously a fantastic coach. Felix is very lucky to have you. I'm sure he would very much agree. And I shall see you in Melbourne for the Australian Open. Have a lovely off season and a lovely Christmas and a lovely flight on Christmas Day.
Thank you, Candy. Always a pleasure to chat and to talk about tennis. Thank you for your invitation on your podcast.
Thank you, Freddie. A bientôt. See you in Australia.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Diary of a Professional Tennis Coach. Please like, subscribe and share, and we'll be back soon with another great episode.